This is John Black, Super Chemist. This is not an instructional video. It is just a vlog showing a video account of some chemistry experiments I have done or am learning about. I do not go over all safety concerns, so if you repeat anything in the video, you do it at your own risk.
Okay, here's my apparatus. Let's go over this part first. You got equalizing funnel there. I'm going to put hydrochloric acid in. I'll drip it into this 2-neck round bottom flask, and that will have calcium hypochlorite. And you can see it comes out this tube down into this scrubber, and I'm going to put some calcium chloride anhydrous in there. That way the chlorine, you can see there's a tube inside here. See that tube inside? It goes all the way to the bottom. Chlorine has to go up through the calcium chloride. I'm not going to pack it or anything. I'm just going to, chunks of it lightly up to about here. Now it has to come out this hose, right? Goes up this hose all the way down here. Now this just goes to basically a suck back trap, okay? I want this before my actual reaction pot. In case I get any suck back, it'll go into here instead of the calcium chloride drying agent, right? So it comes out here, and basically, since it's a gas, it'll fill this up. But it goes out here, and I have a valve just in case I need to go get ice or go do something for 1 second or whatever, go to the bathroom or whatever. I can turn this off. Once the chlorine stops making it and I see it suck back, I can turn this off and then not have to worry about it. Anyways, it comes up here to another tube and then down to here. And all my tubes that are inside are glass, okay? The attachments to attach them from one place to the other are plastic, though. And this tube goes all the way to the bottom. I don't know if you can see. And that's a 3-neck flask, right? So it comes in, and I'll have my DCM in here, my dichloromethane, and I want it to be tetrachloromethane. I want to add 2 chlorines to it. I'll have it heated. You can see I have heat tape underneath there, and I'm going to, use that as my heat source. And then over here to the left, you'll see I got a blue light, and this is an LED blue light. You can tell it's only blue. I mean, it's probably terrible on my camera, but you can see it's like this is more regular. You can tell this is a color. And it's shining directly on here. And this 3-neck flask has 3 things: chlorine coming in, a thermometer, and a condenser. And that's so I can reflux the DCM, right? The thermometer is because DCM boils at whatever. Let's just make up a number, 60 degrees Celsius. And tetrachloromethane boils at, like, say 90. So it's going to start out at the boiling point of DCM, whatever it is. And then when it gets up to the boiling point, of the tetrachloromethane, I'll know that it's starting to work. You know what I mean? Now it's going to make HCl. The HCl goes up. You see at the top of the condenser, I got a hose going down here to another suckback trap. That's all this is. It's just an empty bottle. I might put some sodium hydroxide in there, even though there's nothing being bubbled in there, you know what I mean? But the gas that's stuck in there will react, and it'll absorb some of the HCl. But mainly it'll come up here to this hose, around to here, to this. And you can see there's a tube, right? I don't know if you can see. There's a tube that goes in there all the way down to the bottom. And I'll put water and sodium hydroxide in there, and it'll have to be bubbled through before it can come back out to this hose. And that hose, I don't know if you can see in the back there, I'll have sodium hydroxide. It's just a little pot with a funnel on it and one last scrubber. So I'll have that scrubber, I'll have this scrubber, a suck back trap, and that's basically the whole setup there, okay? So what I'll do is I'll turn this on, start heating it so that it refluxes the DCM. Then I will turn on my blue light, and I will start my chlorine production.
All this stuff that's the chlorine, making the chlorine, all before it gets to the pot, I'm going to have to put like tin foil over all that so that the blue light doesn't make the chlorine radicals ahead of time. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. I don't think it would react with the glass. I think it would just react with another chlorine molecule, but just in case, I'll cover it all up. And I will put, you know, links, computer addresses to all the stuff, you know, like how I got calcium chloride, or I mean hypochlorite, how I got calcium chloride for the drying agent, how I got HCl, how I got this, how I got that, DCM, blah, blah, blah. I'll put a link in the description. This is the first time I've done this, so we'll see how it goes. My blue light is actually, I think, 450 to 460 nanometer blue light. There is no UV produced by it, and so it's mainly all going to be blue. So we'll see if it works or not. I say it will. I say UV is too much, but maybe not in this reaction, but in a benzyl chlorination reaction using free radicals, UV is too powerful. So let's get the stuff in there and get it going. Also, this is a water-cooled condenser. I have my condenser over here.
As you can see, there's the acid in the funnel. Got the calcium hypochlorite down there. I'm going to drip it on to make my chlorine. Over here is my calcium chloride. That'll help dry it. Come through this suck back and into the reaction. As you see, I already have DCM in there. Okay. And I looked it up, and DCM boils about 39.6 Celsius, and tetrachloromethane boils at 76.72 degrees Celsius. So, you know what I mean? If it's working, the boiling temperature will start rising as I go. I'm going to turn this. I got the sodium hydroxide in there. Also back there in that thing with the funnel. I don't know if you can notice it, but in that tube right there, you can see right where my finger is, there's the DCM starting to go up the tube. So what I did was I closed, remember I said how I put this valve on here, right? So I closed the valve. Hopefully that will stop that from doing that.
Using a valve didn't really help the DCM when I boiled it. It still came up the tube, you know, where the chlorine was supposed to come in at, whether I had the valve open or closed.
So I'm heating it up right now.
So I had a leak and my fume hood wasn't working. I actually, after I got done, I ripped out the fans, and I'm going to have to put them in the right way so that, you know, there's no leaks in that. But anyways, I did it extra fast instead of doing it in, you know, 4 to 6 hours, which is what I was going to do it in. I did it in like 15 to 20 minutes. So obviously I'm not going to get a good yield. But I took my product out, and this is the apparatus. I'm going to distill it to see exactly what I have in there. How much DCM, how much trichloromethane, how much tetrachloromethane. There's my apparatus. You know, I got the pod here. I'm going to distill it. Got my receiving flask. I'm going to put some ice in there, some cold water, suck back trap, and all the way to here to a bubbler. Why do I have the bubbler there? Just because it was handy and it was sitting there. I needed to wash it. I figured same with that, so that's all dirty. I figured I'd use them instead of putting, usually I put a piece of Kleenex in this outport. In the receiving flask. I don't push it in there so it's plugged. and pushed it in there so it's a filter. You know what I mean? That way some of the gases get kind of stuck in there. Anyways, I'm going to distill it. So I don't expect to have a good yield. I don't expect any yield at all, really. You can see it's starting to boil. Reason why, first of all, I've got to do this again. I have to do it in a smaller apparatus, do a smaller experiment. I made 34 liters of chlorine, and I bubbled it through in like less than 20 minutes. Must have been 15 minutes because I had a leak, and the fume hood I was using, I still haven't fixed. Although I finally did after 3 years. I ripped the fans out, and I'm going to put them in again the right way, where I put them inside the fume hood. And I'll definitely do it smaller. That was crazy. As soon as I started up the experiment, I could smell chlorine, man. I mean, that stuff just like permeates. So I don't expect it to, and plus I wasn't boiling it. So as soon as it bubbled through, it just went through. There wasn't any vapor really in the air inside the apparatus. You know what I mean? It only had like a second to react. If that, it was bubbling so much through at the time. You know what I mean? I just wanted the experiment over, though. We'll see how much, you know, I'd be happy if I got like a 10% yield or something like that. But we'll see. I got a bigger X column on there, so, you know, get better separation. It's climbing up. It's almost at the bulb. I don't know if you can see that front or not. It's like right there. It's almost coming up. That's how you want it to be, coming up nice and slow. Just so it's just pouring over this, just a little bit. Looks like it's all liquid. Well, for 20 minutes I've been distilling, and that's all I got. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit, a couple milliliters. And it's been 15, 20 minutes. It's been like a drop every fucking, or it's been a drop every 30 seconds or every 20 seconds. Now I jacked it up the rate. It's like maybe once every 5 seconds now. Still, it's even slower than that. But anyways, that whole time, the first 20 minutes, it was about 41 degrees. Now it is at 42. But it is extremely slow distilling. So I have hopes that maybe there is some, at least maybe trichloromethane, which would be chloroform. At least that. We'll see. Because chloroform boils about 40 degrees Celsius. Trichloromethane or chloroform boils about 61 degrees Celsius, around there. But I bet I made some chloroform, at least a little bit. Only time will tell. Still have a lot to distill. It's all pretty much there. Only a little bit so far has come over. We'll see. Hopefully we got at least some chloroform in there. Alright, it's still coming over at a 7-second drip rate. So it's coming over real slow. But anyways, it's coming over at 44 degrees now. So that's a little bit above dichloromethane. I'm hoping it'll jump up to at least 61. I got about a 5-second drip rate. You can see I have a lot in the receiving flask. Half of it's in the pot, say. Half of it's in the receiving flask. And we're up to 46 degrees Celsius. So something did get chlorinated. Not much though.